WUCUSU, Peace, Black Power, and welcome to Harlem Liberation School's YouTube channel. Harlem Liberation School is a black nationalist, pan-African community organization based in Harlem. We provide relevant and credible political education to help black people wake up, clean up, and stand up, in the words of Brother Malcolm X. To do this, we provide panel discussions, political commentary, mini documentaries, leadership tips, classes, and interviews with some of our most dedicated and effective leaders, activists, and intellectuals around the world. The concept of WUCUSU is very important to us and central to our mission. It is our greeting, our motto, and our guiding philosophy. WUCUSU is an acronym for the phrase,
Wake up, clean up, stand up.
Wake up means developing black nationalist and pan-African consciousness. Clean up tells us to identify and eliminate our self-defeating behavior that gets in the way of us being our highest selves. Stand up compels us to use our gifts and our resources to exert leadership in our communities to help liberate our people. We humbly ask you to subscribe to our channel so we can reach more people. We encourage you to like, share, and comment on our videos, and we invite you to donate to our work either through sending us a super chat here on YouTube or by sending donations through Cash App to $TRUSELF143. Now, let's build. Peace and Black Power families, Brother IJ Taimba from Harlem Liberation School, where as always, we teach black people to wake up, clean up, and stand up. No complaining, no bitching and moaning, no over focus on the white man. We teach you that you have the power to do what we need to do for ourselves and by ourselves. We welcome you back, family, to Harlem Liberation School. We are basically concluding. We might have one more person last minute, but we're coming to the close of our community empowerment series, in which we are really trying to challenge the narrative that black women are naturally pathological, that black women are to be scapegoated for all the problems in our community. Because whatever a critique we have of our sisters, we have to understand that they are the backbone of our homes, the backbone of our civic organizations, our fraternal organizations, our sororities, our churches, our mosques, and I can keep going, right? So they have been foundational to our development and survival. If we let people attack our sisters physically or through words, then we are proving ourselves to be unworthy of liberation. We have to protect our sisters through word and deed. And one way we do that is by defending their honor and telling the truth about them and challenging any narrative that tries to make our sisters seem like they are somehow less than human or pathological. We don't support that at Harlem Liberation School. We love on our sisters, even as we disagree with them. We still love on them. That said, we have a sister tonight that I'd like to introduce. Brenda Hilaire is a native-born daughter of Harlem, and she reflects the qualities of Harlem. Beautiful, strong, fearless, creative, intelligent, outspoken, and has a heart for the underdog, for the weak, for the vulnerable, willing to step up and speak up for those who are being oppressed. That is definitely all Harlem characteristics, as you know, historically, and she embodies each of them. She is the executive director and the founder, I should say, and executive director of a nonprofit organization called Sweet Transitions, which basically helps those who may have been homeless, victims of domestic violence, and she's also the co-founder and I would say the assistant director of Harlem Liberation School. On a personal note, I just have to say, this is a sister here, family, that is my queen, my life partner. She was there when I was having a stroke, family, back in 2012 or 13, and I didn't know what was going on. I was going to go right to sleep. And she called me and said, say something. She saw my face twisted up, she said, and she called 911, and she's probably the reason I'm breathing here today. So on a personal note, I just want to say I'm very pleased to be able to introduce our next sister, and this is none other than the Queen Brenda Hilaire. Sister Brenda, how are you?
I'm well, Dave. How are you, Mr.
I am
Taimba?
well. Say again?
I said, Mr. Taimba. I'll try to keep it
Oh,
professional.
stop
I
playing.
call you
Stop it.
Dave.
Stop it. It's okay. You don't have to be so formal. Um, we are very pleased to have you with us. How are you feeling today?
I'm pretty good today. Actually,
Very
I'm
good.
I'm excellent compared to other days. This is a
Very
great day.
good. Very good. You look very pretty,
Thank
and
you.
glad that you are here, available for us to honor you for
Thank
the role you play in empowering our community. Before we get started, I want to get a few things out the way very quickly. There's some people that are shouting us out. Sister Mila Renee,
you. Hi, sis.
peace to the sister, peace to Brother Moon. Sister Mila Renee is reminding people to, definitely give you your flowers now.
Thank
That's right. She's
you.
reminding people to support the channel by hitting like, subscribing, commenting, and things of that nature. Sister Crystal Denise is in the building, who's also a former honoree, and Mila Renee is a former honoree as well. So it's good to see
Yes,
that other
strong
sisters
views
that
of
we've honored
freedom.
are also coming on and showing support. That's a beautiful thing. She's giving greetings to me. Thank you. Greetings to you as well, my sister. Greetings to you as well. So I just wanted to show some of the comments, people kind of congregating, saying hello to each other, giving each other the greetings. And with that said, I'm going to put a few things up, Sister Brenda, so people know what we're doing, who's here, and what we're talking about today. Right now,
Okay.
first, I want to get right into this. So, my sister, Queen Brenda, your work is grounded in Harlem. You're a native born Harlemite. For those who don't know, Hamilton Heights section of Harlem, some people call Sugar Hill. Uh, we actually grew up one block away from each other. Um, and so you're a Harlem sister to the core. And I'm
Born and
curious to
raised.
know, say again?
Born and raised. Absolutely.
Yes. And I'm curious to know what are some early experiences or influences that shaped your commitment to this idea that one should serve the community, that one should give back, shouldn't just live their life for themselves. What experiences in Harlem in particular do you think helped shape that in you, or people that helped shape that in you?
I know that it comes from the early days of my rearing. I came from a community that was rich in culture, rich in love and support. The village mentality was in full effect. We loved each other deeply, and yet we were constantly dealing with and being impacted by systemic oppression and and a lot of violence at times against us. Nevertheless, we the children were shielded from much of that, and we were able to lean elders that really loved on us and poured into us. I had a very difficult experience at times growing up, as I was on my own very early in my age, somewhere around 12, 13. And because of that, my worldview was different from a lot of kids that I knew. So I saw beautiful people, but also saw a lot of struggle, and I saw the village mentality. But when drugs were implemented, we were torn apart. Like our village was devastated. And I was a child who watched people. I studied people, the people that I wanted to be like, and the people I did not want to be like. Um, so I rooted my rearing in love principles. Um, I knew that I had needs as a child growing up, and the needs that I had that weren't being met by my mom or my dad or some of the people in the village, I started to develop the mindset of how I would create my own life. But a lot of that vision that I had was shaped by the people that I admired in my community.
Okay, fair enough. Thank you for that. Um, Now you started a nonprofit by the name of Sweet Transitions, which
Hmm.
is actually kind of clever once people know what it's about.
Right.
Sweet Transitions Inc. And we want to know, give us a quick summary of what it does, and then tell us, can you share a powerful story that illustrates why this work is so vital to our liberation and survival. So just try to summarize what you do, and then show us when your organization did something in the community, a lesson from it that shows why the work you do is important.
Okay. So Sweet Transitions, it was born from um, myself. I would do things for people in the community who I saw had needs. So if you needed a coat, I would purchase a coat, or I would tap on the shoulders of people who lived in the community to see if they had something that they could contribute. With Sweet Transitions, I have been doing the work. The focus of the organization is to meet the needs of people who are transitioning from homelessness, from domestic violence, from prison, nonviolent offenders primarily, and from foster care. So I would go into the homes of people in my community, and for elders, I might organize, clean up their homes, and organize for people who had gone through domestic violence issues. I'd be there in a variety of ways for all these people. So I thought by starting a nonprofit, I would be able to get some funding to help me do it because I was doing it out of my own pocket. And that became kind of costly. I'll give you an example of one that some of our viewers may be familiar with. There was a sister, actually a brother, Mark McPhee, contacted me a couple of years ago to tell me about a sister who was fleeing a domestic violence situation, her and her son, and they were coming from out of state actually. So he asked me to help them get a bed. They were going to move in with her sister, I believe it was, and they needed something. So um, I am not alone with the help of a very beautiful and strong village, the one that is close to me and those virtually, helped us. And some of you beautiful people are on this line or in the chat room today, and I thank you. Helped us raise money, gather clothing and sneakers. I got a bed for this woman. I have brothers who had a moving service donate their time and their gas and their strength to help us provide everything that she needed. When we got there, the woman was wearing basically a tank top and some shorts, the clothing that she fled her home and out of state from in. And that was all she had. She didn't have anything else. We gave her 4 bags of clothing. We gave her an envelope with hundreds of dollars. She was even able to attend the wedding of one of her children. Her son got a bag full of sneakers. He got cash and clothing, and we were really able to help them and connect them to services to help her, get her foundation in a new place outside of her sister's home and be free of the violence she was experiencing. That the essence of that particular experience is what Sweet Transitions is built on. Now we go into the homes and we beautify the homes. So we'll provide the bed and whatever furnishings are needed to help people who are transitioning from these experiences. But sometimes you have to step outside of what you do to facilitate the need of the person in front of you. Ultimately, I believe that people are beautiful. I see beauty in everything, in old furniture, in things that are discarded. And I liken us to the discarded of the world. It is our responsibility, in my opinion, to love ourselves and each other authentically and deeply in a way that compels us to help and take care of each other. So essentially, that is the biggest one of the best stories I could share with you because it encompasses all of the elements of what Sweet Transitions is about, but most importantly, what what we are rooted in terms of love of self and love of each other.
Excellent, excellent. It's actually very touching, in a world that's so focused on the individual claim, individual accomplishments, and me. It's good to know that we represent that Harlem spirit. And I'm not claiming that Harlem is the only place representing the spirit, but that Harlem spirit of generosity, of time, effort, and funds and resources, because you had to take that took work and time out your day from other things to make those calls, to arrange people to take you somewhere, to get the mattress, to get the money. So we know that these are all labors of love. I don't, to my knowledge, you didn't get paid $1 million for this, did you?
I didn't get paid anything, but
Exactly.
I got paid like my cup runneth over when when I say the people, I'm talking about other people who didn't take on this responsibility, who didn't say, like, I want to do this with my life. This is my passion. They answered the call. I asked and they saw fit to help. And we do that every day in small ways. And you know what? That's what liberation is about. It's the small acts that we participate in every day that free us, that make us better people and enrich our lives. And so when my sisters were calling me and they said, I got a couple of $100, I got $50, buy some gas, I can't do this, I got some shoes. That's the village mentality in full effect. And the more we employ that, the healthier we are as a people, and the more rooted in love we are.
Excellent. Excellent. Now, for those people, because I think the reason you'll hear me say Harlem people watching throughout this is because Harlem is a very important part of her and our story.
Right.
And now I think of it, for those people who don't know um, the environment in which you grew up, in which we grew up, could you give them a snapshot, a summary of what it was like? Let's say in the when we were teens, adolescents, the 80s. Let's say the 80s. What was Harlem like in the 80s? What types of things did you have to navigate?
The 80s, more specifically than any time, that was like the Vietnam of Harlem. You were walking through minefields of violence, and yet there were pockets of beauty that still existed, right? So there were you could see people getting killed. I saw a person thrown off a roof um, and hung for drugs, from what I understand. Um, I would see dealers throwing up crack cocaine, and our people who were contaminated addicts were scrambling trying to pick up these drugs. And we're kids, we're trying to play double dutch or Ringalivia around all of this violence going on. So you saw a lot of people who have been struggling. Now all of a sudden they're wearing the finest clothing, driving the finest cars, and other people like myself, we grew up poor. So that was something that we all had in common. Most of us were poor. You had one or two families who were doing well. We lived in the midst of affluence on one block, like one block removed from affluence and one block removed from extreme poverty. So the children are in the midst of that. And we're seeing people that we were like us or our age now driving fine cars. And a lot of people were influenced by that. So it devastated our community. And most of us, even our parents, like I saw people, women that I admired, the men who used to protect us and teach us and provide for us, a lot of them succumbed to the ills of the drug activity. So it was really rough. And yet you could go down to 125th Street, and right there in the heart of Harlem, you could find books and people who would teach you about your history. You would find art and other people styling and profiling. Like there was so much going on during that period. So if you survived Harlem in the 80s, that's significant. That's like saying I went to war and I came back home
You better know
unscathed.
it.
And if you
That's
can do
facts
that
for
with
real.
your right mind, you're even better off, and it just proves that you're resilient. So we are resilient and beautiful people.
And for the Gen Zers that might watch this, right? How did we spend our time as young people? What were the recreational activities we were engaged in?
Most of us, we spent our lives together and outside. Right, we weren't in. Once in a while, a child would be in the house. Many of us, like I said, we were playing Ringalivia. We were playing, hopscotch and Scullies or double
Scully's.
dutch or hide and seek. We would go to the parks and the boys would play basketball. Some of us handball. Many of us, excuse me, someone's trying to call me. Many of us indulged in hip hop because we're first generation true hip hop, right? Not rap, but hip hop. So you had jams going on in the park or people sitting on the stoop. And we didn't have computers yet. We didn't have cell phones yet. We didn't get beepers, I don't think, until the 80s, like late 80s, right? So we talked on the phone. We recorded music from the radio stations with cassette tapes. We wrote, we read. I read all the time and would write poetry very young. We braided hair and we played with dolls and we did all types of stuff. And we had chores. We didn't pay for buses and trains. We walked, so we had exercise and we had each other. And we went to the movies and we did a lot of stuff, but we did it together. And that's one of the things that that saddens me about this generation, that many of them are more connected virtually than they are, physically, and that physical connection makes the difference. When you can
And
see
how
your people, you're inclined to do better by your people, to do more with your people. We're disconnected. We need things to reconnect us.
did the
I
experiences
can't hear you.
you can't hear me?
I cannot hear you.
Can you hear me now?
Clearly.
That's weird.
Hold on.
Hold on.
Say something. No, like that's
One,
too
two.
bad.
Can you hear me now?
Should I go out and come back in?
You can't hear me?
No.
Then yeah, you probably should go out and come back in because
Oh,
according
one
to
moment.
this, everything's working. Did something happen to the phone?
It is. Uh, let's say something now.
One, two, one, two.
Mm.
Okay, maybe you could try to go out and come back in because everything says that it's working. So, family, stay with us while we deal with the technical difficulties. Okay, can you hear me now?
I can.
Okay. Oh, she got kicked out. All right, family. Bear with us, family. The technical difficulties. And I'm assuming she'll be right back. In the meantime, we have some people. I want to go to some of their comments. Mila says, yes, indeed. She's giving Sister Brenda compliments. You're beautiful inside out. Sister Krista Denise said she had similar experiences in small town Arkansas. Brenda was talking about some of the things going on in Harlem. I think some of those things are legendary because you heard about Nicky Barnes and AZ Alpo and Rich Porter. So those stories are well known, but a lot of people don't know the intricacies of them. But the white man put us all in shambles. All of our communities dealt with drugs and gangs and different things, just to different levels depending on the population or size of the place. And Miata Priestess says, watching old cartoons, coloring with some ink, skipping double dutch, playing hide and seek. I don't know if Miata knows about that. let's bring my let's bring the queen. She's back. Does Miata know about that, queen?
Yeah, she knows that that's one of my poems I wrote.
Ah,
So
very
yeah,
good, very good. Miata, thanks for joining us. By the way, make sure that Azzy and Ari get to see this too. Okay, see Grandma being highlighted. That's very important. Okay, so how did these now we know for those who know Harlem was rough and tough, dangerous. Every corner had gangs. I don't know if y'all can picture what I'm saying. Just about every corner had its own local little gangs. And those one block, say 144th Street, 143rd Street, would have beef. Amsterdam people, the Broadway people might have beef on the same block. One was more north, one was more south, or should I say, one was more east, one was more west. But let somebody else come on that block, starting something. But all those parties would come together and woe to that block, or those people coming to cause trouble. Something that
right.
black people today could learn from. Don't you think, Sister Brenda?
Yeah, we actually the block I grew up on. Again, IJ and I grew up a block apart, and for some reason, our block would always have beef, right? But if somebody came from 2 blocks away, anybody else, any other block, we would band together, as you said, and protect each other. Many of the young ladies didn't. We didn't. We were untouched by the gang activity. That was kind of unfortunately something the guys dealt with. But as women, we were brawlers too. So we would get right out there and fight to protect our guys if guys came on the block, and they always looked out for us. So yeah, beauty
Excellent.
even in the face of ugliness.
Now, a lot of people say, "Oh, these urban areas with these black folk and brown people, they had to fight. They had drugs, da da da." And people in other areas and other persuasions, we might say, may not have that story, or at least not identical to ours, and think and look down upon us for having such tough environments. Could you speak to though how coming up in such tough and rough times shaped you into a strong black woman, able to handle multiple tasks, not flinching when crisis comes, being able to stay poised and all that? Tell us how that environment may have helped in those other ways that people don't
Well,
see.
well, like many other people I grew up with, a lot of us were latchkey kids. So we didn't have, no one was, there weren't always adults home or monitoring what you did. So, and the people, most of the people that's on this thread will relate to this because a lot of us are older. For my children and Gen Zers, you will hear us say things that are universal to people in our age group because we had similar experiences. So we were required to learn how to cook. We all got up every week, every Saturday. Everybody got up, and a lot of people would tell the stories of Scott's emotion and cod liver oil. We all kind of did the same things. We had to cook, we had to clean, we had to babysit very young. In fact, many of us, like myself, um, were kind of like the adults, the women in the house, very young. So I actually had to take care of my sister, raise my sister on my own. My mom and grandma lived up the block, but we were in a home by ourselves. So when I became an adult, these things came naturally to me. I'm a survivor. I don't worry about what Trump is doing or how he's going to do it. I will survive. I didn't need emergency preparedness. I got emergency preparedness when I was a child. We were poor. We didn't have a lot. So we made the best with what we had. Fortunately, even some of my education came from when we would travel to the South over summers. Most of our parents were from the South. And so every summer we would go and spend our summers there. When I was in the South, I learned how to preserve food. I learned how to pick food, how to plant food. I learned how to pick tobacco. You know, it those things prepare you in a way a video game is not going to. When you play with people, when you fall down with people, and you pick people up, you take those lessons with you into adulthood. So as a mother, I'm able to sew and cook and clean and fix things. I've built walls and torn walls down, both literally and figuratively. These are all from the lessons that I received as a child. We learned to do without, and we didn't fuss about it. We longed for things, but it made us resilient and made us more competent. Like, I'm going to get everything that I want, and I'm going to work hard for it. I don't expect anyone to give me anything. And most of our joy comes from, again, taking care of each other. That's what we did, and that's what this generation, unfortunately, didn't have the benefit of in many cases.
Yes, thank you for that. Now we know that you helped to create Harlem Liberation School, which has been around since 2016. We were in a brick and mortar at one point because of tenant or lease issues, and the epidemic then came and stuff like that. So we've been largely in the digital space. Although we're planning to get back in that brick and mortar space, we're going to keep that close to chest for now. We'll tell you more about that development later. Um, what to as you see it, what inspired the creation of Harlem Liberation School,
Um,
and what do you
well,
think is its beauty? What does Harlem Liberation School offer to the people as you see it?
uh, I'll start with what sparked that. So we were going to different events, and at these events, we were hearing a lot of mistruths. And one of the things that we don't like, and this was Harlem Liberation School, I have to say, was Ajay's idea. I was the support as I am today, and we built together, but this was his vision. And so he, being a scholar, rooted in truth, wanted and understood the importance of our people being educated properly. Because if you are miseducated, everything you do is compromised. So it was our mission to start telling the truth, and that's what we bring. That is different. We offer critical thinking, collective consciousness, but truth telling, whether you like it or not, the truth is truly what will set you free. So that is the foundation from which we Harlem Liberation School was born. It is the nuts and bolts of what we teach in political education. We teach that we come together, WUCUSU, wake up, clean up, and stand up. Powerful words that we adopted from Brother Elder Senior Malcolm X. But ultimately, everything we do is rooted in that. We tell the truth so that you can wake up. Not just you, but ourselves. We tell each other the truth. Sometimes we have blind sides. So RJ will tap me on my shoulder and I'll tap him on his. That is our responsibility to each other. We cannot grow. We cannot do better. We will not know liberation if our understanding is rooted in a lie. We have to look at our leaders through a critical lens sometimes. But we must always self-examine. But we do that not to be critical, but to critique so that we can improve ourselves as individuals, in the family, on the block or in the community, in our organization, and then we offer that to our nation. That's the only way we will build a sound nation. So we offer wake up, clean up, stand up as the remedy for liberation.
Absolutely right and exact. Now, I'm very interested to. I want people to get a sense of some of the things that our sister Brenda does. Obviously, her work with Harlem Liberation School. She talked a little bit about her work with Sweet Transitions, but there's also these kind of things that she's done that don't won't get in newspapers, and you know you may not know about, that are kind of done organically in the neighborhood, very locally. So one of the things recently that I saw you doing was I think through the church they had excess food, because the church I grew up in, Convent Avenue Baptist Church, and we're members of, has a food pantry, obviously, and they cook food at breakfast and lunch very inexpensively for older people who don't have money like that on fixed incomes. And am I correct that you got access to some of the excess food? And tell us what you did with that. I thought that was really, really strong community service, but very organically. No big, grandiose thing, just practical, consistent thing. Tell us about that, Sister Brenda.
So, so in attending a meeting, a monthly meeting, where different leaders within Common Avenue Baptist Church were talking about, like giving their minutes, talking about the things that they had done. A sister stood up and she introduced herself, and she heads the or was one of the heads of the pantry, which I didn't even know they had. And so she mentioned that they had gotten some grants and they had come into like an excess or a surplus of food. Immediately, I started thinking about, because I have an affinity for elders. I always have had great love for our seniors. And like our children, often they go unnoticed or forgotten, or they need the support and love, just like our babies do. They're vulnerable. So I'm constantly thinking about how can I be of service, not just to the community at large, but to specific groups. And the elders are some of the people that I'm very I just love them, and I'm very committed to. So with all that being said, immediately I thought, let me take food to our elders, people who are sick and shut in, who can't get to markets, who need more, because again, there are also, we're in an era where resources are being extracted from our communities and from our people. So, and I recently came through a health scare, and the fight continues, but I have people fighting with me. I have a family, I have a village near and far who constantly facilitate my care in some way. But we have people right next door to us who don't have that. So I thought, let me get this food and take it to them. So my grandson and I we first went with one shopping cart, and they gave us food. We filled it up and they said, you can come back. And before you knew it, we had like this huge shopping cart plus my little one and bags, and we brought it to the community. And I just opened it up to everyone. So we kind of had a pantry right in the lobby of my apartment, our apartment building. And I would ring the bells of all the neighbors, and they would come down. And I identified other people in the block who needed those resources. So we take a bag to their house, or see people in the street and let them know these are the days that we'll be doing that. And we did that as long as we could.
How
And
long did
so
that food last? When you got that bag cart of food, how long did
it
that food last?
it was gone in less than an hour.
What did that tell you?
That there's a food deficit, which I knew, because anytime I have a surplus of something, I'll take it from the cupboards or the refrigerator, like if we go food shopping. And instead of throwing it away, I'll take it out to the lobby. And if I go right back out the door, sneakers, whatever it is, it's gone in a matter, like literally in a matter of minutes. So I
And
knew
can I
that
just intervene? I'm sorry, Queen. I just want to give
uh
people context. So we're in Harlem, family. We have a block. There might be 10,000, 15,000 people living on one block because we have huge buildings, six-story building, a lot of units. So I want you to imagine a six-story building, hundreds and hundreds of units in it, all types of people, elders, kids, teenagers, wild folk, loud. Some may be involved in some stuff they shouldn't be in. Some going to work every day. Some retired. All of that's going on in the building, right? And so she's coming in with this food. She's ringing bells. She's, straight up grassroots. People coming down, people coming out. You want some food? We got some potatoes. This is what's going on. So
yeah,
for those who think we need $1 million or we
right.
always need big grant money to help, we don't, family.
We
And
need each
she's
other.
she's showing that, right? You had people coming from down the block right up to the building.
There are people coming from other blocks, right? So what I learned is we don't need a lot. We really do need each other. We are all we have, and that is not just some cute saying. It is the truth. If we have a crust of bread and we share that crust of bread with my sister, my brother, but whether they're blood relatives or not, That's more food for that person to survive. And as long as we survive and we are rooted in love, we will be fine. It's going to be tough at times. But unity does not, and liberation does not start at the end. It starts here in the now with each other, each child, each elder, each myself. I am literally a living blessing. This a miracle. And as long as I have a breath in my body, I will take it and use it to do good for someone else. And it's not because I'm special, it's just because I love my people. And I hope that I get some of that love in return. It is reciprocal. And I do. I get it when one of my sisters from Tennessee call me and they say, "How you doing, sis?" Or I was thinking about you, or I'm praying for you. Like every opportunity we have, I'm praying that we will get um, to the point that we use it not just to take care of ourselves, but to take care of each other.
I
And
shade of
that,
that.
oh,
Yeah. Definitely, definitely not a selfish, self-centered woman. I can bear witness to that. Definitely. Um, now, other question I have for you, my sister, is that what are some of the challenges? I know you're in the community and you know different people. First of all, let me, because she may not think to say this. So let me say this. So you know how you go somewhere and you go to the movies uptown, go somewhere downtown, go somewhere to the east side, somewhere to the west side. This sister's gonna know somebody everywhere we go. Hey girl, how you been? Oh girl, and we gotta go through that, you know. Oh girl, how you been? Give me your number. Oh, so she's one of those type. You know, very gregarious, outgoing sister. Her light shines very brightly. Very charismatic in that way. And so, so just to give you some context to the sister we're talking to. So it's very easy for people, kind of person you talk to, you just met, and you feel like you've known them for years, right? So she's been, I want to say this, she's been an asset, not just to me personally, but also to the organization in the sense
thank
that
you.
I have charisma in a slightly different way, but I have a very clear, like, I'm like, all right, man, it's time to go. you know, I'll, I have certain boundaries I put, like, it's time to go. So I think what she has brought to me has helped me to understand sometimes be a little bit looser with things. I'm a little more because of how I came up as a man in Harlem. I think
Right.
we developed slightly different cultures, right? But one of the things I appreciate is she brings a certain. I say, okay. I gotta be sometimes a little more patient, a little more uh not so much in a hurry to do this. Take breaks. You know, she was there when I've been in the hospital, fam. There was a time I was doing a live broadcast on this channel and having a stroke, family. I want to make this very real. This ain't no, I'm just talking. And I'm like, no, I'm not. She's like, baby, no, I'm good. I'm talking. I'm doing. She calls two of my peoples. I
In
think
Philly,
one was brother. I'm gonna say, but one was brother Los. We call him
yes.
nephew in Mississippi. Said Los, tell this stubborn guy that he's having a stroke. Get off the live broadcast and let's go to the hospital because I didn't hear it. I thought I was fine, you know. So he calls. He's like, Unc, I think you look a little, your mouth looks a little twisted. Unc, you sound a little different, man. Why don't you go to the hospital, man? So once I said, okay, so I already knew she called him. I knew she, because I know her. So I said, okay. So my point is, we talk about people that we look up to, right? Celebrities, and they're way far away from us. Some of us will never meet them. We'll never get to hear nothing from them. They've done nothing for us other than entertained us. But they've done nothing in our lives. And then you have people that's in your actual life that have enriched your life, may have saved your life, as in my case. So I want to say that about her on a very personal note,
Thank
that
you.
she's definitely someone that gets involved. We will disagree. She will disagree with others, but I think at the core she means well and she has good intention. And at the end of the day, we come from an environment and a culture that says you fight for what you love. You fight, you defend it, and we may fight in different ways, but at the end of the day, I think that's one of the beauties of her, of this beautiful queen. And you do look beautiful, by the way.
Thank you.
Yes, and if we had more time, we might get into how we met, but that's another show for another time. So y'all just wait for that. That'll come later in the year. But I'm interested to know, you center elders. I've always heard you say you love the elders. You always ask me, "Did you call your mom? Is it how so and so doing?" You're very concerned. I've seen you kind of engaged. I remember when we first in the establishment where we first met. You ran into a lot of people, and you're always real cool. The elders knew her. Hey, how you doing? You know, always knew her, greeted her. From whence does that come? And what do you think about how this country, as a country, not us, but as a country, society, views and treats elders?
I think it's despicable how, first of all, let me say thank you for everything you said. I really appreciate that and I love you for that. And for seeing me. That's important. Um, I hate the way this country and some of us view and treat our elders. This country doesn't value any of us. They don't treat any of us well. But we have a responsibility to each other. And I'm going to keep bringing it back to that. We mu- we grew up, our generation especially, grew up valuing our elders, being mindful, listening to them. Whether we agree with them or not, we understood that they knew more than us, and we dare not be disrespectful in any way, whether they were our direct parents or relatives or not. My An elder that I didn't know could chastise me when I was growing up, and today that's almost unheard of. And I'm going to always fight for our elders because without them we would not exist. Those close to us and our ancestors, I have great value and respect and love for them. I will always have reverence because I understand the wisdom and the struggle and the strife that these people have gone through to some degree. I don't even know all of it, but I know enough to know that they deserve our respect. Of course, we're going to have some people who swim in murky waters, who some people that just got old. But the elders are our greatest commodity, just like our youth. The people in between, we're trying to get to where they were, and we've been crawling behind them in their life. They moved mountains for us. They sustained injuries we will never understand. But our responsibility is to honor them, ourselves, our people, by way of taking care of each other. So as we take care of our babies, we must take care of our elders. They need us. We are the
Yes.
strong. We're able to do that. And we have to love on them, pour into them sometimes. Let them know we have not forgotten them, that we appreciate them, and always bring honor. As you do to yourself and your mom, you bring honor to our ancestors. We cannot forget them. That is the root of our culture.
So, as you speak of the elders, I know you also have a soft spot in your heart for the babies. You have Nubia, Zakia, you got Brianna, you got Miata, and you got the two
Caitlin,
the grandchildren. I'm
Matthew, and
curious,
Ashley,
what
Matthew
what
and
is your what is your message to all those young people? Now, keep in mind, we're talking about a 2-year old, a 5-year old, a 15-year old, a 30 something year old, and a 28-year old. What is your message to the young black people that will watch this or will hear about it? What is your message to them?
wow, that's a good question. There's so much to say to them. First, to love yourself. Don't look externally for validation. You were born and cut from fine cloth, right? As my grandmother would say. You come from the best people that ever lived and ever will live. That is not to take anything from anyone else, but you must believe that. Educate yourself as you love yourself. Take care of yourselves. Take care of your body, your mind. Denounce lies, don't invest in anything toxic, and be an asset to yourself, your family, and your race. Always take care of each other. That is really, really the biggest message I could give to anyone. Take care. Don't leave any man behind, man, woman, or child. We don't leave ours behind. We take care of each other. And as long as I can look over my shoulder and know you're not gonna let me just fall down in the gutter and die, I can rely on that sister. I can rely on that brother. That child is going to look out for me. I'm good. But the minute that stops, why are we here? So I implore them to pull away from the computers and the video games and get to know the people that you play games with. Get to know your family. Find out who they were, what have they done, where have they been, and try to level up. Right? Take the baton from us and go the extra mile.
Yes, very, very inspiring words. We definitely need this. One thing I think we benefited from, I think you'll agree, coming up as teens, is we had
Yeah,
this wealth of elders and institutions, Schaumburg Library, the Public Library,
yeah,
125th Street, Liberation Bookstore, if you want to get your drinky drink on, Lennox Lounge, all
yeah.
Apollo Theater. There were all these places where you got that kind of nurturing. And so,
And all
yeah,
these beautiful
we have to
people.
bring that back too.
Another thing I'd like to say, start like unplugging from these devices and plug into your community, right? Get to know the people in your community and help out. Find out how you can be of service to someone, right? Knock on the door of the elder or become familiar with your neighbors, provided it's safe. Let them know, hey, if you need anything, I'm here. I'll go to the store for you. Not with an attitude or begrudgingly, but because they need us. So go. You have the energy and the strength that we don't. We've done all that we can do and will continue, but we need you too. This is not one way. I grew up thinking that we were to be taken care of by the elders, that they were supposed to, and they pushed back and said, no, you better take your butt in there, wash those dishes,
That's
clean,
right.
and
That's
go to the
right.
store, whatever it was they told us
That's
to
right.
do. Today, it's sometimes a chore. Like it's almost like they have this sense of entitlement. Like you want me to do, especially up here in the east, right? Down or the north, the people down south, they get it. They've been rooted in that forever, so that hasn't changed, I don't think. But ultimately, we got to remind them by way of consistent teaching and modeling that you too have a role in how this team wins. So that team is in this house, that team is in this community, that team is the nation, and we have to start them young. Um,
I can't help but say this. I'm listening to you speak. I'm looking at you, and I'm thinking, wow, this sister is just as beautiful as she was when I met her 15 years ago. About 15,
Longer. No, 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 no,
maybe a
no.
little longer.
A lot longer. So
Wow.
here, I'm going to give you all a peek into how we met.
Oh gosh. Here we go.
So I remember being very young. I'm going to say junior high school, seeing RJ for the first time. There was a smoke shop slash gate game room at the end of my block,
Babe,
and
for those who don't know, explain the game room real quick.
a game room was a place. The old school. A game room was a place where you went to play video games. A lot
Right.
of us couldn't afford the Atari or the Nintendo. I
Nintendo,
remember when Nintendo was out.
Sega, yeah,
Right,
Sega, yeah.
right. So how these kids all have consoles to play their games, we didn't have that.
Didn't
Most
have
of us.
that.
My cousin Niecy had one. They were doing a little better than our family. But anyway, so we would go and we would take our coins, quarters, and play Miss Pac-Man or whatever games that they play.
Centipede.
Right. I played Miss Pac-Man. Y'all can have the rest of that stuff. But so this game room was at the end of my block. And one day I go in. I used to go in, there's a guy named Chuck. Chuck was one of the proprietors, him and his brother Mike.
And we just spoke to Chuck, like, yeah, the last week.
Right, right. And Chuck is a Guyanese brother and sharp, sharp. And he would engage us in conversation. So I would talk to Chuck all the time when I went in there, and he would kick wisdom. And that's why I gravitated towards that store because I could just stop in and chat with Chuck and keep it moving. So this day I'm in there and when I come in, Chuck is talking to a young man. And the young man is with another young man. It was Aj. And I remember everything he had on because I thought he was cute. And what I was really attracted to, besides his intellect, I mean his physicality was his intellect. He was able to talk about politics and everything at that very young age and he was challenging Chuck. And we just recently spoke to him, and Chuck was like, I knew he was going to do this and that because I couldn't believe this young kid had this mindset. And we were young, like junior high school. Fast forward, I'm going to say in the early 90s, we met again, and we went out on our first date, and it was an amazing date. And then we lost touch, and we reconnected in like 15, 16 years ago. So that's our story in a nutshell. And we were just kind of always doing this. So now we're here and we're building together and we're trying to build with you. So I have to take this moment to say, family, we love and we appreciate you. We will be here for you in any capacity that we can, but we need your help also. Please subscribe to our channel. Please like and share our content. It is a work of love. We are not going to offer anything to you that we ourselves would not take it, that we ourselves wouldn't share with our own babies. We love you and we need your help. So please support us as we try to grow this channel. Share the content with your family because it's important information. The people that we bring to this platform are the best of our best. And we hope that you can appreciate what we bring to you. And with that being said, I am done.
Okay. Now, if you want the juicy parts of the story, just wait for my tell-all book. Okay. All right. And here go Miata. Let me tell you what Miata talking about. What she say?
Oh no, no,
Our age is look at it. Your age is showing. Well, listen.
no.
Quick. I asked the community for questions. Krista Denise has a really good question. She wants to know how do we go back and fetch or Sankofa the spirit of respecting our elders. That's a sentiment. There's a sentiment that they don't have. They don't have that they're not listening to as much nowadays.
That's a question. How do we?
Yes. How do we go back and get this spirit of respecting the elders back again?
I think that we have to model it. We have to model it and teach them the importance of it, right? So I do that with my children, my grandchildren. Like, no, 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 we don't do that. I'm quick to let you know what we're not doing. This is how we do that, and I show them like my family, my children and grandchildren. I have an older one and two younger. But the older one understands. Like, no, no, no. You see an elder with that bag, I shouldn't even have to tell you. You run and get it. If you are on a bus or a subway and there are no seats available and an elder, pregnant woman, whatever, needs it, no questions asked, get up and offer it. It's something that was instilled in me, so I don't let it die. I keep it right there in the forefront of their mind. So it's on automatic. This is a part of the culture of the family. This is a part of their teaching. So, and when I see it in other children, I'll reinforce it or instill it and reinforce it. So I'll give you an example. Brianna and I come from food shopping. We get out of a taxi. We have all these groceries. We have our local hustlers and the guys that are real street connected, um, chilling in the front of our building. And they see me getting out with these groceries. I didn't see anyone offer. I don't know what they've been taught or not been taught. So I say, hey, we need your help. Come over here and grab these bags. And the toughest, the meekest, They were the whole me. Yeah, you, and you. Everybody come grab a bag. That's how we teach them. And they came and grabbed the bags, and it's almost like they're waiting for us to give them that direction. A lot of our kids don't have people who are invested in them. So we have a responsibility to invest. I make it my business to try to identify the kids that need us most and facilitate their needs in some way. To let them know I'm here and I love you. And if you need me, I'm here. Let me know what it is. And I take that seriously. We don't leave any of our people behind.
And let me
That's the
add,
truth.
when the Queen said that we model it, because leadership is always modeled. It can't just be we talking. This is what we need to do, and we're not doing it. Our
Right.
our children in particular, and even adults, tend to
Yes.
take us seriously when they see us doing that of which we teach. So
Consistent.
when we come in the building, it was one time we came to the building. You know, you go to like a Costco's or BJ's, you got tons of stuff, and it's us too. We've been through health stuff, so we trying to figure out how we gonna take all this in one shot, right? And before we could finish the thought, we got a young guy comes to, hey, I got it. He grabbing the stuff. Another one's opening the door. You know, so what happens is when people see something modeled and they respect you, and why would they respect us? I'm not putting flowers on us. Well, because she's the one that just fed that man's family. You see how this works? He might have been one of the guys who, when she's giving away food, his mother may have been one of the people that got that food. So he's now like, wow, he helped she helped our household eat. The least I could do was open the door and take her bags. Or I may have, and I did, break up an altercation between two young brothers that's in the streets arguing over $10. I'm gonna kill you over $10. So I
Right.
talk him down through it, and finally we found out the guy that he's saying owes him $10 paid him the $10 back, and he forgot. Right?
Hmm.
So if naturally when they see me, there's gonna be a respect. When they say, "Hey, OG," it don't just mean older guy with a gray beard. I mean a brother we respect, and it's the same with Queen Brenda. They see it's not a respect that's just thrown out. They see that we get involved and we talk to the people in the hood. We know the people on the block. She knows them better because she grew up on the block. But they know us. They know we don't cause no trouble. They know that we about our business, and they know we're positive. So just to add on to what she said, um, this is something I think is important. What Miata said, to bear witness to the community service in the home. She said she was on bed rest when she was pregnant, and they both, that would be me and Queen Brenda, said, well, let's forget what we got going on, and they took care of her children and her for 5 months, and then another month after. So yeah, that's what we mean by them showing our love. Love is a noun, but it's also a verb. When you say love is beautiful, it's a noun. When you say I love you, that's a verb. And too many of us keep love in the noun, and we need to be more with the verb. So yeah, definitely. And that was a little bit of a sacrifice, but because and in particular, we're talking, this is her day. Brenda had love for Miata. Yeah, she's going to show up, of course, even when it's not always, even when it involves a little bit of sacrifice. We show up, and so that was her and our honor, Miata, and also Miata says she thinks it's important to teach the younger generations to handle elders how you would want your mother, father, and grandmother. Yes, indeed. Very good. That's good. And she also says, when I see elders, I see my grandma, and I'm offering assistance. She says she's actually pulled over and
Yes, she had
offered people rides.
strangers.
You
Yes.
see?
Perfect
Now, see,
strangers.
listen, family. The white man has done everything in his power to destroy us, to ostracize us, to have us thinking we ain't nobody, we can't do nothing. So how do you combat that if everybody's divided? If everybody's thinking about just themselves, how do you combat a whole society taking the jobs, cutting food and access to education? How do you combat that if we not together, if we don't see each other and see ourselves and our loved ones in each other? So what
Right.
Brenda's talking about is stuff we just did naturally before. I think we got a little too comfortable. We got some progress, and we forgot who we dealing with and where we
That's
are, and we forgot. But those times are quickly coming back, family. So I think it is. We all need to have that Brenda spirit where we see ourselves and each other. See our kids and other kids, and all of that is very important. Sister Crystal Denise says she appreciates that, Miata. I work with young adults, and I'll start reminding them. Very good. And Crystal Denise also says, great insight and advice. I agree. Invest is my choice word as well. Yes, we have to invest. That's right. Now, I want to know, to the Queen, we're up to our last official question. And this is what I've been ending all these interviews with, babe. And that is, and this is not, some people look at this as a morbid question. I don't. This is more like when you're doing these things, you have a vision of how what you're doing, what impact you want it to have, who do you want to help. So I guess the question is, as you do your work with Harlem Liberation School, as you do your work with Sweet Transitions, and another project we're working on that we're not even talking about publicly as of yet, what is your legacy? What is it that you want your legacy to be? What impact do you want to have? When we're long gone, Black woman, and we're in another dimension, how do you want your grandkids and your friends and people to remember you?
Woo, that's powerful. Um, I want to leave a legacy of love, a legacy of liberation. I hope to leave a legacy of transformation. I hope to plant seeds from which beautiful, strong families grow, beautiful, strong women, communities, nations. I want to plant seeds of love that grow into action, not talk, but the doing. And I want it, I want to plant seeds of love and legacy that inspire people to be their best selves, not just for themselves, but for other people, to see other people and to see the beauty in people. I hope to leave a legacy of sight and insight, of balance, of nurturing, of support, and one that springs from a well of love, not one of resentment, not the question of why, but why not? Why can't I? Let me get this done. I can do it. I might need help, but we're going to get it done. I hope my legacy is one of beauty, of inner wealth. I feel like crying. I don't know why. I just
Do what you
feel.
got to do, Black woman. It's all good. It's all good. You're
I hope
amongst family.
we learn to love each other deeply, and we see the beauty. Like restore our people, restore our families, restore our relationships. Not just ourselves. Do the work on yourself. That's important. You can't bring beauty from toxicity, right? You can see beauty in toxicity. You can look past it or look beyond it to see the beauty in it and figure out how to take the weeds out of that garden and water it and grow something beautiful from which we all can benefit. Don't tap into these negative messages about yourself. Your people are beautiful, resilient people who did nothing but improve the earth, improve this world that we live in. You be a part of that legacy. So that's what I hope my legacy will be. I hope I answered that question
Absolutely,
effectively.
absolutely. And if I don't see any more questions, let me say this in closing: that Harlem Liberation School organizationally appreciates you. Uh, and I personally appreciate you. I love you dearly. This is one of the people in my life family that I will absolutely live, die, and kill for. That is a fact. precious jewel in our midst. And I think that our relationship is endemic, is representative of how black people need to be. When it ain't lovey-dovey, you still there. When you argued, you're still there. When you got doubts, when you're hearing those negative whispers, you're still there. When the money's low and the food is tight, you still there. You still, even as you disagree, even as you're trying to figure it out, you're still there. And that, if we can bring that spirit back, we are unstoppable. You see, today I hear gender wars. I hear the black women, man, the black men are dogs, and the black men are blaming everything on the black women. And I'm like, listen, I heard one sister say, I'm not going to name her, this is back in the day, when Eric Garner got killed. She's very popular. She has a very popular platform. And she wrote and said publicly, I will not cry another tear for black men. I will not stand up. I will not defend black men, because I met black men that are patriarchal. And I wrote that sister publicly. And I said, then you don't understand your history, right? Because she got the names of all these women, right, babe, on her website that she's bearing witness to. I'm like, Harriet Tubman, Sojourner Truth, Anna Julia Cooper, Ida B. Wells, every one of them had issues with black men who were abusive. Right. Every one of them disavowed that behavior. Every one of them spoke out and wrote out against it. But you know what? They still fought alongside black men.
Right.
That's the difference. Today we got to change that. And so I'm happy that I have a partner with whom we're doing. I think we've done, not to sound self-serving, probably will sound self-serving, but I think we're doing mighty work and important work that people are feeling around the country and the world. Mm-hmm. You know, family, we getting blessings that come from the blessings I like to think we've given to others without wanting something, without asking for anything. So I think that's very important. And guess what? I'm 57. She's 57. And the best is yet to come. I believe we're going to be part of movements, and along with people watching here, doing things that make the things we did look like nothing. It ain't over, family. So the best is yet to come. And we hope that you all will join us in helping Harlem Liberation School expand. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Like, share the video. But also support our work. We're going to be expanding Harlem Liberation School, getting back into brick and mortar, and getting it also into some protests, advocacy, and other things, because I'm kind of sick of seeing some things that shouldn't be going on, and it's time we take more of a stand. I want to put this comment up. Miata says, being a part of your legacy, I can say you will leave a legacy of love. You have taught us to love, to be selfless when you are blessed with an overflow of abundance, to protect each other. Very good, Yada Bambada. That's what I call Miata. Yada Bambada. Very good. And she says, to stand 10 toes down on what's right and be the same person in the light as in the dark. That's correct. Right. Very good. Well, Queen, I think we have come to our close. Just wanted to make sure you get your flowers. And I'm so happy that I would be the one personally hosting this particular event to do that. Definitely, you deserve that and much, much more. I want to thank you for rocking with Harlem Liberation School. I want to thank you for rocking with me. And just thank you for being a light. I think that that the Most High gave you a light to attract people, to do work, and to help other people. And I think that you're using it in a mighty way. So we thank you for that.
Thank you.
Yes, indeed.
Thank you.
Love you much.
Thank you, everybody. Good night.
And WUCUSU to the family watching. Black Power, free the land.
Love, life, and liberation. Love, light, and liberation, people.
That's right. Now I'm gonna go kiss and hug on this pretty queen, and we're gonna get some dinner. And the juicy details will be in my tell-all book coming out in 10 years. All right? So you just gotta hold your breath and wait for that. Peace and Black Power family. WUCUSU.